Solutions. Next 30 minutes I'll take to talk about our experience and will help you understand how to right size your enterprise licensing expenses and provide a valuable tips on how to save money. We'll take another 10 minutes where our practice leaders and licensing specialists will address the questions that you have. And in case you have any questions during the discussion, you can type in the questions in the chat box. And then we wrap up the session. So starting with a round of introduction. So my name is Akshay and I am associated with Silverleaf Solutions from past year. And it's been a great journey over here. I take care of business development from Silverleaf. With me, I have my team members Shiva, Prerna, Vaishali, and Vanshika. We are privileged to have with us Mr. Mayank Srivastav, the founder and CEO at Silverleaf Solutions, and Sushrit Pardi, Vice President for Business Development and Strategy. They have an cumulative experience of 30 years in the software and cloud world. Their knowledge will assist you in finding a tailored strategy to optimize licensing costs, ensuring you are only paying for what you need now while setting up a strong foundation for the future. Now, allow me to provide a brief overview of Silverleaf Solutions. So, this organization was established in 2016, headquartered in Gurgaon, and we are a global, independent, and research based organization specializing in software licensing advisory and cost optimization services. Our primary aim is to help clients optimize cost associated with various multi-year software licensing contracts of tier 1 and tier 2 publishers. We are operating across India, US, Singapore, and UAE. We take pride in our expanding footprint and our valuable 8-year history serving a diverse customer base worldwide. So, in light of recent developments within the specifically tech industry, particularly the wave of layoffs affecting major players, we are here to addressing a pressing concern, the economic challenges faced by businesses and the imperative to find cost saving solutions. So, as you can see in the screen, over 30,000 employees have been laid off from major tech companies like Flipkart, Amazon, Paytm, SpiceJet, and Google with the first few months of 2024. This continues to the trend from last year, where significant downsizing affected many workers across these firms. However, amidst these challenges, there's a hope. Silverleaf Solutions is here to offer a proactive approach to navigate these challenging times. Our expertise lies in leveraging our research and experience of having done in depth analysis of Microsoft licensing as they have evolved from time to time. So, these experience will help you optimize cost, streamline operations, and ultimately safeguard jobs. So, thank you so much for joining us. And without further delay, let's dive into today's discussion on cost saving strategies. Now, I'll request Vaishali to introduce herself and take the discussion forward. Over to Vaishali.
Thank you, Akshay. Good morning, everyone. I am Vaishali Tiwari. I have been with Silverleaf Solution for a year. I serve as a business development representative here. So, before we begin with the presentation, just wanted to understand what are your expectation from the call. If you have any a specific topic to cover, please do raise hand or type in the question in the chat box. So today we will be talking about the six dimension that you can see on screen, which are very important for us to help the customer that can guarantee saving for them. Okay, so I hope you can see the full screen. Now I will try and explain to you each of these six dimension with an example. And based on that, you can let me know if you have any questions. So the first one on the top left is called contract evaluation. Most large customer around the globe, they always sign multi-year contracts with large vendors. When I say large, that means they have substantial spends. Now let's take an example of Microsoft window licenses. Window licenses of Microsoft, for example, can be bought under 9 different types of volume licensing contracts. And each of those licensing contracts typically offer the same product but not may have the same pricing across all the contracts. And the same use right, the same downgrade right, the same update right, the same update right, the same transfer right, and so on and so forth. So the idea is to able to identify which is the right product that should be bought under which type of contract to be able to save on cost. So another example could be SQL Server. So Microsoft has this SQL Server, which is known as database license. This SQL Server, if you buy under contract A versus under contract B of Microsoft, there is a clear difference of 15% in the price of licenses. So under contract A, the price of SQL Server, let's suppose, is $100. Under contract B, the price of the same SQL servers is $85. So most of the customer are not aware of this, and hence they buy everything in the same contract, which is contract A, and they end up paying $100. So this is how about we can help customer identify which products to buy under which type of contract that gives them flexibility to upgrade, downgrade, transfer, and have another activities done with the licenses. Plus, also ensure that they get the best possible cost. Now we'll jump to second dimension of optimization, which is licensing exception. Now, almost all standard contract of Microsoft are for 3-year period. I am taking example of Microsoft, but the same can be applied to any vendor or any publisher. So if you change the term of the license, if you change the term of the license from 3-year to 4-year or from 2-year to 5-year, it is an exception that Microsoft will do only on customer request. This is example number 1. If the customer has to make the payment to Microsoft for the first year in advance, then instead of making an advance payment at the beginning of the year, the customer can decide to make the quarterly payment throughout the year. And this quarterly payment option that Microsoft will give to the customer will be an exception. So whenever Microsoft changes their licenses policy from one metric to another metric, they always give certain grants of licenses. So every vendor like Microsoft or Oracle or SAP or IBM or VMware, they have a list of these exceptions that they can do for their customer. If the customer asks for it, and if the customer asks for it in a right context with the right story, that they will then they will get approval based on which they will see a reduction in their cash flow. Now, the third point is BOM optimization, bill of material optimization. What that means is really we must look at the 3 factors when we look at the bill of material. Point number 1, when we bought something in the past year or 2 years ago or 3 years ago, how much of that has been actually consumed? That is something an asset management tool or a script will be able to tell you. Point number 2, what is the roadmap of new version of product that are coming up in the future? Because what you are investing into now is into the future adoption of new version. So whether it is for 1 year or for 3 years. And the third one is, what is your own IT roadmap? Okay, so you'll say, I would love to have a dynamic in my ecosystem 6 months down the line because I am not happy with my current CRM. So Microsoft will hear it from your sources. Then they will say, okay, we have a great opportunity. You commit 500 users or dynamic right now in the renewal. I will give you the best price, and then you will think, okay, that's a good trial because I can lock in the price now. Even if I leave it 6 months later, I still have it. But you have wasted 6 months of pricing. Any which ways by signing it up for now, because the billing will happen today only. So we need to ensure that we understood our own IT roadmap, the vendor roadmap, the analysis of what we have actually consumed, and what frequency to decide what bill of material should we renew or not renew or buy. And that's a huge component of cost saving. So before I complete another three dimension, our team would love to answer if you have any questions. Okay. The next first point is price benchmarking and negotiations. For example, you may say, I have done the best possibly. Can you tell me, is it really a good job or do I need to negotiate more? So the customer is wanting us to deliver benchmarking service on the price offered, on the discount offered, on the contract type offered, and so on and so forth. And this is typically that come to to us. So where we can decide what we want to buy, what we want to pay for, and how much do we want to pay for. So benchmarking also means that how do you know whether the customer is getting the right price at the right discount level amongst all his peers in the industry? Let's say I went to Qatar and I met Qatar Bank. Now Qatar Bank has certain number of employees, which is 3,000. How does Qatar Bank know that the pricing being offered by Microsoft or by Oracle to them is in line with what Microsoft and Oracle has been given to another bank around the world, which are of the same size as Qatar Bank? That is something we can do for our customers. Second, that we can do for our customer is that we help them get visibility and transparency into margin, rebates, and the incentives that a reseller makes in between the transaction. So, for example, we would be able to tell that Mr. Customer, your partner who is billing you the licenses had made so much of money and margin just on the transaction. If you think it's worthwhile, then keep paying for it. If you think it can be optimized, then you can save on them as well. That is overall rebates and transparency around the partner margin that we want to share. Okay, so the next aspect is modulation and product. Modulation means that we are trying to tell that, sir, everything that comes under a bundle is not good. So you should be able to only bundle those items which you really use and which you really need. But during the bundle, we also bundling a lot of software which nobody is using. So our money is being spent to buy unused software, which is absolutely a waste. So we can help the customer to bundle and unbundle certain products to be able to ensure that they only pay in a committed manner for those products which stay with them forever. So this is where we are talking about bundling and unbundling. The second one is evaluation of alternative technologies. So we also give the service. Let's say a customer is using one technology for many, many years, and now they are not happy. They are looking for an alternative version at a cheaper cost, but at a better scale. So we can help them advise an alternate technology as well. We also provide customer with custom licensing metrics. See, licensing metrics means how do you want to license your product? Is it per user? Is it per device? Is it per processor? Is it per core? Is it per virtual machine? Or is it a new custom metric which is based on the deployment and consumption? So this is where we can advise the customer that what licensing metric to choose for what kind of product. The last part is around price arbitrage. So what we are saying is if a customer has an office in multiple countries, then they can buy these licenses under a volume licensing contract in any of the countries and use them anywhere in the world, because a global licensing contract gives the flexibility to the customer to buy anywhere and to use anywhere. And why will customer do that? So because the customer gets a lower price point in the market, which are known as emerging economies. So for example, any software bought in India is at least 30% cheaper than the price of the same software in Europe. So if European companies decide to purchase or route their licensing cost to us here, then I think it makes sense for the customer to realize that rather than paying for everything in US or in Europe, they just need to buy everything in India and they will save 30% at least. So this is about leveraging, and this is just a price difference. It has nothing to do with the product set. It has nothing to do with the local accelerator. It has nothing to do with the negotiation. It is only the price difference between the two countries, and that the customer can leverage if they have an office in those two countries as a subsidiary or their own. So a lot of European customers buy their software or sign their contract out of India, out of Philippines, out of Malaysia because they get a better price point. And these contracts typically allow you to say you can buy anywhere, sign anywhere, and use anywhere. So all of this six things together lead to a guaranteed saving of at least 12 to 15% annually on every licensing spend that customer does. I have completed this slide. I hope all of you are awake. So now I will let Shiva, who is our senior licensing specialist on Microsoft, share few information and update on what's happening around us from licensing perspective. Shiva, over to you.
Thank you, Vishali. Thanks for the nice explanation of all the key dimensions that we look at. Uh, uh, just for the audience on the call, my name is Shiva, and as Vishali introduced, I'm a senior licensing consultant, and I've been doing this since the last couple of years, and I've been with Silverleaf along almost 1.5 years. So the things that I wanted to share was, a few trends that we've been seeing in the Microsoft deals that have been happening since the last few months, especially since the announcement of Copilot. So the first thing is what we have seen as a structural introduction by Microsoft nowadays is Microsoft is pushing Copilot into every EA or a CSP or any kind of Microsoft agreement that you're signing. If it is sizable enough, if it is more than 100K, they are imbibing or including Copilot without even asking you. And one one reason that they're giving for inclusion of that Copilot is initially they are adding it as if free software to try out all the new AI features, all the productivity tools, just saying customers that you need to be up to date with the most uh, latest technology in terms of LLMs. But what we have seen is even though they add the software few months before, or maybe let's say let's assume that you are getting a proposal for Microsoft EA or a CSP or an EAS or an SCE in this in the next few months. What Microsoft is doing nowadays is they're giving you Copilot free 6 months before, but when you see your proposal for EA, you see backdated billing for Copilot, which you did not intend to. That is one thing that we've observed. Initially, it's been added as a free thing, but later they asked you to pay for it on a prorated basis at a discounted price. That is one. And also, so second reason that they are uh, pushing for customers is basically they're saying, if you add Copilot into your deal, you will get better discounts, which is not actually true. When you look at the ROI discussion of Copilot over a couple of years, even though you might feel that the discounts has gone up by 7% or a 10%, but when you see if the Copilot implementation cost, Copilot adoption, and Copilot across the organization, we've generally seen the ROI is not as good as they lay out. And uh, that's specifically on Copilot. One is uh, they also give you funds to what we've seen is Microsoft also gives you funds to get Copilot adopted, I mean, across your organization. But still, these funds, they run up, I mean, they give you these funds, but when you adopt Copilot, if you would need something, or if you need any extra resources, that's completely on you. It's an additional budget for you, which you have not accounted for. That is one thing that we have seen. The second trend that we've observed is Microsoft is adding a lot of Power Apps SKUs into your BOQ, saying that that you can get it at a better discount when you sign it now, and you would be able to do this, or do this deployment as you want or as you wish, but the actual billing is going to start from day one, or day one which is added to the BOQ. And especially with Power Apps, what we've seen is they're not doing a user based deal where the deal is going to be depending on the size of your number of employees that you want to buy it on. They're giving it as a fixed fee thing, where you buy it at a specific token amount, and you adopt it, but the billing happens from the first day, where the actual implementation time for you to deploy your Power Apps is going to be a 3 month or a 6 months window, but the billing is going to happen from the first day, which is not typically fair, being on the customer side. And the third trend that we are observing nowadays is, if you are getting, or if you are foreseeing a renewal in the coming few months, Microsoft, it's a tried and tested strategy for them. They're always pushing customers into saying that they send a proposal today, and they say that the discounts and the offer is going to just stand for 7 days. If you don't sign it in the 7 days, the discounts are going to go down. You're going to sign the deal for 3% more, 5% more, 6% more, which is absolutely not true in most of the cases. But this is a trend that we've been seeing in a lot of the deals that they're signing. They typically send you a proposal that is always higher than your previous proposal, and on top of that, the discounts that they give in that proposal, they say they'll only stand for the week. And they always try to arm twist you into signing these deals, which is absolutely, I mean, unfair. But that is one thing that we wanted to shed a light on. You shouldn't be, I mean, giving attention to Microsoft when they say, you need to sign this deal in 7 days or 6 days to get these discounts. I think with that, I'll conclude what I wanted to say, but I'll open the forum for Q&A. If you have any questions or any specific queries, we would like to answer them.
Shiva, I have a question on the
Yeah.
BOM optimization. Can you give us some examples of how you guys do it? I mean, what's some without referring a customer perspective? At least how have you done and achieved success here?
Yeah. So typically, BOM optimization is done in two cases. One is, first, we try to align your actual deployment with the BOM that you are using. Most of the times when we say custom, I mean, when we talk to customers about BOM optimization, there is this notion that we have a SAM team, we have a team that that closely monitors, and we do a cleanup activity every 3 months. But generally, that is not the case. That's true. And these activities, even though they say that they're going to happen every 3 months, every quarter, we have seen most of the times that even though these activities are useful in getting the inactive users out, or inactive license out of the BOM, but there is a lot of scope to identify if a type of SKU, for example, let's take a skewed, let's take an online service SKU, for example, an M365 or an O365 SKU. If you have something like an O365 E3, and the O365 E3 is given to everybody in the organization, irrespective of whether somebody needs Office, whether somebody needs a mailbox that is 200 GB or not, or whether somebody whether somebody is using the all the services that come with an O365 license, like whether are they using their SharePoint, SharePoint license, are they using their OneDrive license to an extent that is needed. For example, what we've seen in a customer, I'm taking a customer example, they had a SharePoint on online P1's queue given to the entire organization. But when we, looked into their consumption, their actual consumption for their from their, Microsoft Azure portal, and we analyzed the data, we have seen that out of, this is 1 TB per license, and there were around 2,000 users. Out of these 2,000 licenses of 1 TB, we have seen only 5% of, uh, you know, 5% of storage being consumed, which is absolutely, a waste of capacity, because 95% of your capacity is being not utilized. And this is where, you can cut down your SharePoint plan one licenses, or you may try to, give SharePoint, or give this, storage solution to your users in a different medium. So that is one way we look at it. One is we look at the consumption, and we try to optimize whatever SKUs that are available in, Microsoft price list to the needs, the actual usage needs that you have, based on the 30-day, 60-day, and 180-day usage pattern that we will be able to, get from your usage data. That is the first side. Second side is, understanding if it makes sense to buy a license in a separate, in a customized way. For example, we've seen that, Microsoft is pushing security as, what do you call, if you have E5 security, you have everything. And if you need security, even basic security in the organization, you would need to go with E5, which is not typically true, because Microsoft has a great, security suite of products. But buying everything from Microsoft might not make sense for you. And this is the case that we've challenged or solved for many customers, because Microsoft sells a lot of their security solutions outside the bundle of them. I mean, outside the bundle as well. I agree that, buying this software in a bundle would be much more viable for you when you need a lot of security solutions. But depending on the actual need of security solutions you have, for example, you might want to go with the base security features, like you would just want to do some more, mobile device management, you want some single sign-on, you want some conditional access, then it makes sense to just keep your needs by buying the EMS suite itself, rather than going to the entire Microsoft E3, I mean 365 E3 or the E5 bundle. That is one way. I mean, these are a couple of examples that we have used, and that we've used to solve some typical customer cases. We've also helped a customer recently, to get out of this myth of, E5 would be needed for everybody and E3 would be needed for everybody, because they are a really security centric organization. But turns out, when we looked at this consumption data, and when we did an actual validation of all the security features that have been implemented, turns out they are happy with an O365 E3 or an O365 E1 with the EMS bundle, and one special archiving features on top of this. And that's an example of how we solve a problem in a typical customer scenarios. I can give more, more examples, uh, if you are interested to talk about your specific challenge or problem that you are facing.
Thank you. Thank you. That is helpful. Um, One last thing. Do you have any referenceable customers whom we could connect with offline?
Yeah. We have many referenceable customers. We can share these contacts with you on a one-on-one channel if
Okay.
you are interested further.
Yes, I will. I will definitely be interested here. Vaishali, I will drop in a mail. Kindly help me understand that, please. Thank you.
Yeah, sure. Thank you, Shiva. I hope this webinar was helpful and it answered all your queries. But the last 5 minutes, I want to open up for questions. And in case Mayank want to add something, please feel free to add.
Thanks, Vaishali. Everybody on the call, thank you so much for joining in. My name is Mayank Srivastava. Is there something that we can help you clarify specifically on the call? Would love to hear some thoughts around it. Okay, I think we are good. I just wanted to thank you again. We've been doing this licensing advisory and cost optimization for almost close to a decade now. As an independent consulting organization, we deliver under extreme levels of confidentiality, work on a fixed fee and a gain share model. I've been working with the largest of enterprises in the Middle East, in India, Australia, US, and Europe. If any of you believe that cost optimization is one of the key priority areas for you for this year or next, then we'll be happy to partner with you on this journey. A lot of organizations not only engage with us on a contract by contract basis, but they engage with us for the whole year. We provide services around ITAM to be able to ensure that we get visibility into the deployment, manage and help manage compliances for you so that at least you're not non-compliant at any point in time. And you're always enabled and empowered with the right data points, the right knowledge, and the right references to be able to take decisions in a much more better manner. So the overall partnership that we propose is just trying to share 2 cents of our experience and knowledge and research, which will probably help you take much more informed decisions rather than decisions which are taken because of shortage of time or anything else. So once again, thank you so much for joining. The entire team of Silverleaf is here to share with you and help you whenever needed. But the only journey that we partner together is not that we sell anything, we just try and help rationalize everything. So whatever you've been buying, you can buy right, you can buy in a much more smarter contract with favorable licensing terms, and that becomes a quite an interesting area of expertise that we've built over a period of time. That's about it from our side. In case you have any last minute questions, we'll be happy to answer. Otherwise, look forward to interacting with you sometime soon. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for joining in. We really appreciate all the support and all the time you've taken up from your busy schedule to give it to us. So the idea was just to feed the concept and hear it live from the licensing experts to implement such a disciplined practice in your organization. So thank you so much, Mayank. Thank you so much, Vaishali, Shiva, and thank you so much, our esteemed audience, for having a very interactive discussion. We hope that we have found today's discussion valuable and that you have gained some valuable insights into how Silverleaf Solutions can help your organizations navigate the challenges of the current economic landscape through strategic cost saving measures and technology solutions. So your feedback is incredibly important to us as it helps us improve our services to better meet your needs. So on the screen you have our QR code for the feedback form. You either can scan it now or keep an eye on your inbox. We'll be sending you shortly. So we've hosted more webinars on the topic licensing advisory and cost optimization for upcoming quarters. We'll keep you posted, and the topics will be SAP cost optimization, SaaS cost optimization, and support cost optimizations. So the invitation will be coming subsequently, but we thought we'll just let you know. So in case you feel you or your team members are keen to attend how they can save on SAP Cloud, on SaaS, or on support costs, we would be happy to share our best practices. So any of the questions that anybody has on the call, please let us know. We are always available at info@silverleafsolutions.com. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining in. Have a great day. Thank you.